Nice. Hey, this is Rich Osweiler, coming to you from the 2016 NAMM show in Anaheim, California. I'm hanging out here at the Electro-Harmonix booth. I'm here with John Skibick, who's going to take us through, I think, 5 new pedals.
Yep.
There we go. How's it going, John?
I'm going all right. Yeah, it's NAMM. It's NAMM.
But it's almost Sunday.
Yeah. Yep.
So what do we got here today?
Okay, so we've got a few new pedals for 2016, and they are, well, I see you're focusing on the Soul POG, so I'm going to say the Soul POG is first. We've got a Bass Preacher. Come on over here. Bass Preacher. We've got the Lester G. And we've got the Lester K. And then we have the Cockfight. So those are our new pedals.
Cool. Well, maybe we'll just kind of go in that order we just talked about.
Okay.
A little bit from each.
Great. Okay, so the Soul POG, it's 2 pedals in one, kind of a greatest hits for Electro-Harmonix. It's a Soul Food, which you know about, a lot of people know about and like that pedal, and it's a nano POG, polyphonic octave generator. And it's the 2 pedals in one. You can reverse the order in them, so you can do the Soul Food into the POG or the POG into the Soul Food. Okay. You can also insert effects in there because there's an effects loop on it. Excellent. So you can, you don't have to have those pedals right next to each other. Right. So, yeah, and it's it sounds just like those pedals. It's the same circuitry except for in one box. So I don't know. Well, everybody's heard the Soul Food, but I'll play it. So my clean tone is. So it just adds a little bit of, you can add kind of a lot of grit. It's a non-compressed overdrive, and it sounds very much like your amp sounds.
Soul POG, right on.
Yeah. And then the POG side is I have it set up for a bass octave. So basically the Soul POG is just 3 different volume controls. You've got your dry, you've got your octave down, and you've got your octave up. So I can just kind of easily kind of do that. That's the octave down. So here's my dry tone. The dry tone up doesn't do anything. Then I can add the lower. So you can get those kind of like. You can kind of do some fake 12-string stuff. So and you can add them all together, and you get kind of a pseudo organ, kind of sound. It's got a mode switch. So the mode switch is 2 different algorithms in there. So basically, when it's not lit, it's optimized for single notes, and it's got fast tracking. Okay. When it's lit, it's for chords, and you really only hear it in the high octaves. So let's put them both, and you'll hear that. It sounds good, and then but now if I play that riff, it's tighter. And it still sounds good with chords, just sounds a little different. But so it's just 2 different things. We want to include them both.
Right on.
That's the Soul POG. Lester G.
Lester G.
All right, so the Lester G is a Leslie simulator. And the Lester G, with the Lester G and the Lester K, and they differ. They're the same pedal, except for the Lester G has more features, and it has a built-in compressor. Okay. So that's good for long notes, because a Leslie, with a guitar, there's a lot of attack and not as much sustain as, say, an organ, and that's what a Leslie was made for, an organ. So with a compressor, kind of, sustains your notes so you can actually hear the swirl a little more. Okay. So it's got the compressor in it. It's got a drive control to really drive the organ. 2 speeds, fast and slow. A balance control to, for the balance of the woofer and the tweeter in the Leslie, and an acceleration knob, which determines. In a Leslie, there's ramp speeds. So if you're slow, it takes a while to go fast because it's just a mechanical device. This isn't mechanical, but a real Leslie is mechanical. So. That will switch it instantaneously to I think this way is instantaneously. This is a slow ramp up. and in the middle is somewhere like a Leslie.
Okay.
And you can also control that with an expression pedal. So you could actually just control everything, the speed with the expression pedal.
Just like a Leslie.
Yeah, just like a Leslie. Mono in, stereo out. So, and then I'm just going to explain the difference between the Lester G and the Lester K before we listen to them. Lester K doesn't have the compressor. It has, the ramp speed is just like a Leslie, but it has, everything else is the same. So and it has the balance control. It just doesn't have the acceleration, and it doesn't have the expression pedal. Okay. And it doesn't have the compressor, obviously.
Right.
Now, if you're a guitar player and you want to save some space on your board and you already have a compressor, you can get that, and it's a little cheaper. So let's hear them. Okay, so here's the Lester G. Turn it up a little bit. So it sounds a lot like a Leslie. Clean it up. So this is it clean. You really get the squash of the compressor. And you can kind of get rid of some of the squash, so you can go. And then I can turn the drive up and get that kind of real you know, so it sounds really cool. So then we can go right to the Lester K. So that's without, so there's no compression on that. But I can turn on a compressor. Oh, I also have the balance on the woofer, so that's why it sounded a little different.
What's the price difference between the two?
It's about $50. I think this is 178 and 224 map for those. But that's the only prices I have memorized, so don't ask me any more prices.
And how much is the
Bass Preacher is, we have a Soul Preacher compressor, and we decided to make a bass version. We call it the Bass Preacher. It's optimized for bass. It's got a 3-position control for the attack, fast, medium, and slow. And it's just a real natural sounding compressor. It's not super squished, and it sounds great on guitar too. I demoed on guitar on our video, but mainly voiced for bass. But it's just a nice clean compressor, and it's really simple, you know, so. And it doesn't do any of that that kind of like swelly stuff, you know. It's just a nice compressor, so.
Right on.
All right, and then the cockfight. We mentioned the cockfight. That's 11170. Before I forget. And yeah, so the cockfight has a lot of stuff in there. It's really kind of neat. It's a cocked wah, so kind of like, you know, Mick Ronson used a wah pedal in the heel position with distortion, with, like, you know, 100-watt Marshalls cranked, and he got a unique sound. So did you know, Mark Knopfler with Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, that kind of sound. So you can get that kind of sound without an expression pedal on there. You know, Michael Schenker and Slash, they all use it. A lot of people use it, that cocked wah sound, and it kind of boosts those frequencies. So that's where the name comes from, cockfight, cocked wah. I have an expression pedal. Oh, well, I'll tell you everything else about it. It's got a fuzz in there, which is great. And the fuzz can go before or after the wah part, which is cool. And then it has a bottom control where well, we'll get into that. And it also has a crying tone in there. So here, let me just do the crying tone real quick. So hear those vowel sounds. And you can just do that on the with the expression pedal. Go ahead. You know, just kind of crazy stuff. So we can also just treat it like a wah pedal. Just a wah pedal, and a great sounding one, real nice and smooth. Yeah. We added a bottom control, so most wah pedals go from bass to treble, and the bass goes away. So we can actually have the bass stay in there. So it's really only wahing the top part. Yeah, and you can go in between there, so you can go to, yeah, it's variable. So, and then we have got the fuzz part, and we'll listen to the fuzz. You know, just that kind of stuff. And then it can go after. And you can control the drive and the tone of the fuzz. And it's got one more thing. It's got a bias control, and that simulates a dying battery. So yeah, okay. So you've got this kind of sound, which sounds like it's broken. Boy, that is bright, isn't it? Turn down the, almost Octavia. So it's pretty neat. It's almost gated, it's cool.
Love it.
Yeah. What else did we have to?
I think we had one more surprise behind me.
Oh, really? Is it a present for me? Oh, I know what it is. It's a Super Space Drum. It's a reissue of our 1980 Super Space Drum, and it's I'll play it once. And when I play this, pan over to Larry smiling. Watch. Look. Wait. Let's see you later. I was cracking up. All right. It just makes Larry smile. So it's basically you can get. I'm hitting it. It's got this simple trigger on it, but you can add a drum trigger to it. You can put it in sequencers and stuff. And if you go to our website, we did a real techie kind of demo on it, and it's crazy. It's we have a crash pad and this, and the 8-step sequencer. Just it boggled my mind. I don't even know how they did it, but it just has different sounds. It's got really deep sounds. We can't really reproduce them with a guitar amp, but in a PA it gets really low. I guess it's more for the retro kind of stuff, and EDM, and maybe a DJ might use it or something. But it's real fun. Noise guys might like it.
Larry smiling.
Oh, you know why he did that? So that you'd have to edit it out. But anyway, yeah, it's really fun, So that and the crash pad, it's loads of fun.
Cool. So has everything we looked at today, are they pretty much available now, or soon to be available?
Everything's shipping. Okay. Yeah, it's all. It should be, hopefully it's in, hopefully everybody ordered it.
So John, if folks want to find out even more, where do they go?
To Premier Guitar. Right? No.
What's
wrong.
Your website?
Oh, yeah. Electro-Harmonix.com. EHX.com. Yeah, not Electro-Harmonix, just EHX. www.ehx.com.
Right on.
It's late. It's Saturday. Come on.
Tons of cool stuff per usual here at EHX. This is Rich Osweiler from PremierGuitar.com on Saturday at the NAMM show. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all the cool stuff we have coming your way. Thanks.
Peace.